Yes people, what is good? I am BA, back once again with another reaction in the Rome series. This is episode 8 of season 2 and it is called Unnecessary Fiction. Last episode. So many crazy things happened last episode when I was expecting it to take its foot off the gas a little bit. First we saw Servilia basically go into a state of manic depression and just chant over and over again outside Attia's house, which led Attia to go out to confront her. Servilia then put a curse on her and killed herself to solidify the curse. Absolutely insane after everything we've seen Servilia go through, just to kill herself like that. Craziness. We saw Yesh, I think his name is, and his brother planning to kill the leader of the Zionist church, but then at the last minute he had second thoughts. His brother tried to continue to push him into it, which caused Yesh to kill his own brother, and then even more shocking than that, they bait and switched us with the wedding we assumed was going to be between Attia and Mark Antony, but Octavian intervened and suggested it be Octavia that marry Mark Antony instead, and we got to see that wedding out of absolutely nowhere. They just cut to it. It literally took me a minute to understand exactly what I was seeing because I was in such disbelief, and then we saw Attia crying in the background and Octavia's new lover looking depressed in the background, and of course this built on Attia's belief that she has in fact been cursed by Servilia, because the first thing she thought that was going to happen to her, which was going to be happy, turned into absolute ashes right in front of her. So yeah, just when I was thinking this show was going to lose steam, nope, it once again surprises and continues to impress me, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we go with these storylines this week. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is episode 8, season 2, Unnecessary Fiction. Let's check it out and see what it's saying to it. Not gonna lie, I've got a little bit of a crush on Polly Walker. She's so gorgeous in this show as Attia. I wonder how she's holding up nowadays. Can anyone let me know if Polly Walker is still hot and single? Would be nice to know that there's a 1 in 10 billionth possibility. And I don't know about you guys, but I like those odds. It's like Dumb and Dumber, so you're telling me there's a chance?
We men of Rome were strong and fierce, but also uncouth and solitary creatures.
Octavian still has these intense alien eyes. Octalian. So Mark Antony is back to fucking Attia, even though last episode Attia said she would never disrespect her daughter like that. Checks out.
Perilous paths of glory.
And at least Octavia's still getting with her lover as well.
Guarded hearth and home while we men burnt Carthage.
Wow, she's leaving the fucking abortion giver's tent again. How many times has Titus been fucking this evil bitch? I forgot to mention her in my show wrap-up intro thing.
I shall enact laws that reward fertility and sanctity in marriage.
Seriously, could you imagine this actor just asking you to get him a soda from the fridge? I need a soda. If that is okay with you, you'd be like, yeah, fuck it, I'll bring you a bottle, bro. Just stop staring at me with your intense eyes. And this is coming from a fellow intense-eyed guy. I know. I'm aware I'm a hypocrite. But I've got tense, look like I'm on drugs when I'm not actually on drugs and it's just my sleep pattern eyes. He's got a, I was born on the surface of Mars and I'm a representation of the Martian race stare. Two different types of intense stare.
How many children?
Just the one, a son, Tiberius.
Tiberius. I swear that's a famous Roman name. I swear that woman's son goes on to be a someone. Or maybe it's just already a famous name.
How would you like to be married to me?
I would like that.
It's the only response you can give to an emperor.
They're good, patriotic people. They will not say no to a divorce.
Oh, I'm sure not, sir.
So crazy how political marriages were back then. Nice choice though, Octavian. She was a very pretty lady.
When we get to Jerusalem, will Uncle Levi be there?
Maybe. Maybe not.
I'll put my money on maybe not for 1,000.
Papa, are we there yet?
Even in ancient Rome, children were asking this question. Some things never change.
If there's anything else you like.
How good you are to me.
This poor gaslit manipulated lady, she's actually starting to like this old bag of dust as a husband. Not to say that some people don't have fetishes for the older people around us, but I'm assuming this woman did not, because she didn't seem happy at first sight of him.
They don't understand a word we say.
The lower orders understand more than you think.
Yeah, I would assume all slaves in lower classes would learn the language, especially if they had to rub shoulders with high society every day. It would be a great way to get information to use to someday get your freedom out of them or something.
The Aventine men will make delivery to the Temple of Saturn by night. You and I will be alone with the gold until day.
Damn, so they're actually trying to siphon some of the gold from the bribe money to themselves. I thought this guy was just going to pay the older guy off with his own money, not actively steal along with him. This could be a death sentence for both these guys if Octavian or Mark Antony find out about it.
Octavian and Antony, they both know Pullo. Anything should go wrong, it won't come back on us.
I understand. Third fucking man.
I was waiting for him to bring it up. He hates the fact he's number 3. I do feel bad for this guy now though, because Titus is fucking his woman as well. I never thought I'd be somewhat hating on Titus, but I'm so ashamed of his choices last episode.
Your tea, Domina.
Hold on, is she making her have an abortion due to that stuff she got from the woman? I thought she was doing it for herself. That is so fucked up. I hope she survives. I mean, it's a horrible thing to say, I hope it was just the baby, but we know that stuff targets the baby. I hope at least she survives.
Bury me in an open field.
This lady slave is a fucking devil, seriously.
Was it boy or girl?
Boy.
Ah, we've been robbed of a little Titus Pullo. Oh, fuck off. I absolutely hate that witch of a woman that did this to her. Fucking bitch. She's literally a psychopath or a sociopath. She doesn't give a fuck.
We here call her Irene. But she was called Adela where she came from. Somewhere.
Please tell me that at some point in these remaining episodes, Titus Pullo finds out it was that woman that did this to her.
I give my life to you to use as you like. You'll see that she's happy now.
Oh, this is such a downer, man. I really liked her character. So many people in this show just get a bad hand in life. Traditionally writing, when we see someone go through hardship, they come out of the other side of it, okay. And in this show, we've seen several characters just go through hardship after hardship and then die as well. I know that's what real life's like, but it's just fucking brutal. I don't even know how Titus Pullo could ever find out that woman did that to her, but I hope he does. I hope in some way he interacts with the woman doctor or something and she tells him.
Be still, Mascius, be
Careful, you bastard! I'm not poultry.
What happened?
Shit, now this guy's dying.
Any idea who it was attacked you?
No, they were waiting for us.
I don't know either of their names, but I take it that's that old guy and the young guy who were conspiring to take some of the gold, who actively, took it by force. I assumed they were going to be transporting it themselves and just siphon a little bit off.
His wife died in childbirth yesterday, so I used another man.
I see.
My initial read on this guy was accurate. Last episode I was starting to say he might be alright, but no, he's the piece of shit I took him for, just by looking at his face the first time I ever saw him.
Could it be that one of your own men betrayed you?
Anything is possible, but I doubt it.
Why?
This little shit is really working the room. I mean, surely that would be suspicious to the smart thinkers in that room like Octavian.
I'll tell you who it was. Gauls.
I think Mark Antony's stare there said a lot. Is he the only one that thought it might be that little shit? I don't know his name. He's going to be that little shit until I memorise his name. And even then I'll probably give him a nickname instead. Something Roman sounding? Littlus Shittlus?
You and Antony have double-crossed me.
I assure you.
No. I assure you.
Now I'm totally confused. So one of them wasn't involved in it. I thought that was their co-conspirated scheme.
What sort of property?
Property belonging to the state.
Ow, that's not good.
It could have been that guy as well, actually, with Lucius's daughter feeding him the information.
This kind of affair is nearly always someone close.
Oh, I would cut his head off right now. Even though he wasn't showing teeth, that was the most non-tooth, shit-eating grin I've ever seen. And the corners of his mouth were downturned. How do you have a non-tooth, downturned mouth, shit-eating grin? That's impressive.
It was Anthony. Since we reconciled, he has been just and honest with me. I'm not going to jeopardize our alliance because you dislike the man.
Could be wrong on this, but my gut instinct is that it wasn't Mark Anthony.
Impossible. Anthony would not dare disrespect me like that, and besides, Octavia would have told me.
She has her own reasons for keeping silent.
Well, maybe that young guy wasn't involved in the theft. He still could be. I suspect everyone just now. But he's back to being a little snitch for Octavian. But I don't trust the way he was working that room before. But he could have just been working that room because he was expecting a cut of that gold, and because it was stolen, he's no longer getting his cut. So hard to tell. Such a well-written scenario.
No one of us can handle the Aventine on their own, but if all of us were to cooperate like the brothers we are...
I mean, he's completely forgetting, though, that Lucius operates on the behalf of Octavian himself. So he did steal the fucking gold. That rat. Not gonna lie, it's more than I thought he was capable of. As if this little Aventine crime lord was able to outthink Octavian, Lucius, the number 3 man, Titus Pullo, that little young dude who I was suspecting of doing it himself. They've all been hoodwinked by a fucking idiot.
Small hands you have. So dry.
Thank you.
Not a traditional compliment with your dry, small hands.
You should know that when we are married, I shall on occasion beat you. I do it because it gives me sexual pleasure.
At least he's being honest about it, but that's fucking brutal.
I think we shall get along very well.
So in season 1, when Octavian got free from the captors and he beat that guy, was he getting sexual pleasure? What a little King Joffrey he is.
Welcome to the family.
Thank you. I'm glad to make your acquaintance.
She seems incredibly nice and uncorrupted. I hope that she doesn't get corrupted in the remaining 3 episodes of the show.
I knew Mother had the stomach for any kind of depravity, but I was surprised.
Atia looking shocked. Please, Atia, please.
Go fuck your little girl there and leave my business to me.
Do you deny it?
It's true.
Agrippa, you should have kept your mouth shut right then and there, mate.
Send my women to their house, where they shall remain in seclusion, under guard, until I say otherwise.
I'll do no such thing.
Silence.
I mean, I do side with Octavian in this instance. He purposely set up that marriage for political reasons, and he is straight up getting disrespected that no one's going along with it. Even though it's fucked up for marriages to be political. This was a different time. Ease up on the choke a bit, you're gonna make him come. He's certainly not scared at all of Mark Anthony.
If you find that gold, you'll be sure to tell me, won't you?
I don't think he will.
It was you who told them, wasn't it? I always knew you were a weasel.
Wish I could apologise, madam, but it was my duty.
That guy truly is a weasel, though.
You will not be banished. I need you here. Besides, your sudden disappearance would suggest some sort of scandal.
And to be honest, he does deserve the least punishment because he was straight up, honest, and probably prepared to be killed in that moment, and still noble about it. This woman seems surprisingly unfazed by it all. Maybe she was built for this life after all.
Maybe. I went to see him. He had guilt written on his face, very plain.
I just couldn't get my head round the fact he was even capable of such a sophisticated theft. But I guess with getting inside information from Lucius's own daughter, it makes things like that really easy for him to do now.
I was lucky.
Very lucky.
No word yet.
Does Titus suspect he was involved because he wasn't mortally wounded?
Memio said that we should look to one of our own.
I feel like they're going to kill this guy when it was actually Lucius's daughter that aided them.
The truth is, I've been nothing but a good soldier to you and a good fucking friend.
Please tell me that Lucius realises in this moment it was his daughter. Oh man, this is going to be rough.
He loves me. He loves me and I love him.
Well, that's it. Confirmed now. Oh, how's Lucius going to handle this?
You would betray your own father?
Oh, yes! I betrayed you! and I was glad to do it.
What a fucking little bitch.
I wish you were dead.
I don't agree with hitting women, but she fucking really had that coming. I've never hit a woman. But in Roman times, under these circumstances, she definitely had that coming.
She never loved you.
Shut! Keep your mouth shut!
Jesus Christ, that's some great acting. This is a fucking tense episode. Oh. Well, at least the number 3 man didn't get killed, I guess is the one positive we can take from that sequence.
Mark Antony! He will take up his seat in Alexandria as Supreme Governor of Egypt!
Damn, so Mark Antony has legit just left Rome for Egypt. No way. He's gonna love hanging about with Cleopatra though, on the plus side.
None shall enter this house.
It's not like Mark Antony to look so defeated. He looked less defeated after suffering a battlefield defeat to Octavian.
Push me to violence, Centurion. Just talk.
Mark Antony made that guy a bit shook when he got up in his face there.
Promise me you'll send for me.
On my life.
I don't believe Mark Antony. I think he's going to get to Egypt, take one look at Cleopatra and be like, Atia who?
I have resigned from the Collegium.
Resigned?
It's a personal matter.
No way. I suppose that's the only thing left he can do now that he knows he's been compromised by his own daughter. Him taking himself out of that position just means they wouldn't have any motivation to fuck with him anymore.
Come with me. I need good men.
I hope this doesn't break up the Titus Pulo Lucius dream team, but on the plus side, that's cool of Mark Antony to let him go to Egypt, because I feel like the reset in a new nation will do a lot for Lucius's mental health after being betrayed by his own family.
You take good care of them.
Oh, they are breaking up the dream team. This fucking sucks, man.
God's protect you, brother.
And you, brother.
One of the best on-screen bromances of all time. I worry about Titus Pulo's mental health as well now. He's just been left behind to deal with all this shit, and on top of that we've got the manipulative slave witch that killed his wife still looming over his shoulder.
Go into the kitchen, you might find something to amuse you.
What? Help cook peel onions?
Better than that.
Has Atia snuck in her lover? That would definitely cheer her up. I feel like this episode's been all bad news, so this is great to see.
I would go with you to Hades. To Britain even, if I thought we had the right.
Damn, Britain is below Hades, wow.
I cannot repay his forgiveness by betraying him a second time.
As an honourable dude, that doesn't surprise me he took this stance. It is quite cool of Octavian to forgive him given the circumstances, and it's cool to see he appreciates it, regardless of Octavian being a bit brutal about this whole thing.
Coward. You're a miserable coward.
Octavia.
No.
Now this scene's turned bad as well. We're just not getting a happy scene this episode.
By the way, I'm having a baby.
Who is the father?
Who knows?
This is a rough episode. You know you've had a shit day when even Atia's comforting you. R.I.P. to that mouse, but big up that acting by the hawk. It took its close-up seriously. This is them going to be taking out the rest of Lucius's men, I'm assuming. Please tell me Titus Pulo doesn't die on top of all the other shit we've already seen.
Titus Pulo! Parley!
You don't look like you're here to parley. Go on, Titus, just murder him where he stands. Oh shit! Bit his tongue out, yes! I just hope he doesn't get killed in this ensuing fight, because they do have a lot of numbers, but any side Titus Pulo's on has my backing. Damn. I completely back Titus Pulo to win this. Titus Pulo could probably win this fight single-handedly. Mark Antony's went full white mohawk. Interesting choice. Sort of mixing Roman attire with Egyptian colours. This has got to be him meeting Cleopatra again, right?
Cleopatra.
Interesting ending. I really wonder where it's going to go from here. That shit was just a crazy episode. Okay, and that was episode 8 of season 2 of Rome, A Necessary Fiction, and I will be back in just a minute with my thoughts on that. So, A Necessary Fiction, what did I think of that? You know what, I'm just going to assume that every single episode we've got left is going to be an absolute banger, because this show literally does not know how to even begin to run out of steam in any storyline. Like, every single storyline I'm fully invested in, and I've been saying this the last few episodes, but I'm just going to reiterate it because it still remains to be true. The writing of plots and subplots is just so impressive because of the way it's grasping my attention at every turn. There's never a scene we cut to when I'm like, oh, it's this storyline, like I don't really give a shit about. I care about every single aspect that this show is showing me, sequentially. And again, just madness. First with the gold theft and it being a sort of mystery as to who done it, quickly revealed, and then I thought, I wonder if Lucius is ever going to find out that it was his daughter, only for him to find out in the next scene. Then we get all that drama. And even before that scene, we got the horrific death of Titus Pulo's wife. So tragic, and it makes me absolutely hate that witch. I predicted that she was going to be a turncoat in the fight at the end, but at least she still remained and fought on the side of the Aventine. But that being said, it is unforgivable that she essentially murdered Titus Pulo's wife. Horrific. She was one of the most likeable characters in the entire show. She'd already had a rough time of things being a slave, and then seeing her husband to be murdered, and then getting cheated on. I mean, oh my god. And then she just doesn't get a break. You know, after all that, what does she get? Death. Death of her son, death of her, die. Get buried, dead. It's so horrible because we root for people that go through hardships, especially in fiction, to come out of the other side with a bit of happiness or stability, and unfortunately this show mirrors real life in the sense that sometimes nice guys really do finish last, and she was one of the nicest people in this show, and she certainly finished in one of the last places. And Octavian just putting it all out on the table regarding Mark Antony and Atia and Octavia and Agrippa. He had his right to do that, but he is definitely turning into a more, I don't even know if I would describe it as power hungry, but certainly someone who wants to be the sole authority of the situation, leading Mark Antony to not technically flee, but be forced to leave to go to Egypt, something you would never imagine someone with Mark Antony's disposition to ever do without a fight, and he did it without a fight, which shows that in Rome, Octavian is the sole power. And I should have known it was that little rat at the Aventine. It was just like a bigger heist than I would ever give him credit for, I guess is the reason it threw me off the scent. But I should have put two and together and thought, okay, it's Lucius's daughter that has made this easy for him, hence why he was able to do this. But to see him at the end just get his tongue bitten out and fucked up, and then Titus go on a mad killing spree. We didn't get to see the end of that fight, but I feel like we all already know how it went. Like, they might have been a bunch of factions joined together as well, but even Titus on his own, plus the third man, I forget his name, but you know, the number 3 who was also a member of the 13th Legion, they are two high level Roman soldiers, and between the two of them, they could rack up one hell of a body count that I don't think these crime lords had anybody under their control who could match them for fighting prowess. So I still back the Aventine to having won that fight, even though we didn't get to see how it ended. And yeah, then on top of all that, we get to see Mark Antony arrive in Egypt at the end, and it reintroduce himself to Cleopatra. It makes me think there's only 2 episodes left. how the hell is this all going to wrap up and end in 2 episodes? I mean, they are really good at moving time forward and getting through storylines without anything seeming rushed, but it feels like this season especially, they have crammed so much in. It's so dense, and the fact that it still doesn't feel rushed is like, it's kind of confusing to me. If you put all these things out, for me, someone like, I pride myself in being a decent writer, but if you gave me all these things to shoehorn into a singular season, I would be looking at my pages thinking, nah, this is all moving too fast, it's too rushed. And the fact that this show never gives me that feeling while condensing so much into so little space. It's almost like this should be studied. If you were a writer of screenplays, scripts, novels, whatever, this is a great case study for both how to make your plots interesting, how to create high drama constantly, and how to move along a lot of storylines without any of them seeming too hasty. Really genius shit. You really have to tip your hat to it at this point in so many aspects. Again, I'm going to reiterate another point I've been saying in the last few episodes, but how the fuck was this cancelled? And how the fuck did people at the time not make all their friends watch this shit and build up the viewership to this so it became a giant thing like Game of Thrones ended up being? It just reiterates the fact to me that most of society are assholes and dumbasses, you know, because otherwise things like this would be some of the biggest shows on earth. But it was not to be, unfortunately, and it feels weird to say, but yeah, there's only 2 episodes of this left ever. So strange to utter that sentence, but as you can tell, I am thoroughly enjoying every single episode of this show. And I need to thank my patrons for recommending this to me again, because it was something that was never even on my radar, which I guess could be a criticism levelled at the promotional campaign HBO gave this show, because I literally had maybe heard of it once or twice, but I had it in the same bracket as that other show, you know, Spartacus, which was a lot more, shall we say, popcorny, lots of titties, ass, bloodshed, which, you know, you expect from all of these shows. Game of Thrones had it, this has it, but still, this is a level of writing quality that's just shocking to me that HBO didn't just promote this shit to the moon. Absolutely shameful, really. And someone mentioned in my comments, like, these are 6 weeks in advance recorded, obviously, but in one of the episodes I released this week, which I believe was episode 1 of season 2, someone in the comments mentioned that they did a poll recently of the top 60 HBO shows of all time, and this wasn't even in it. You fucking what, mate? I'm going to fucking bite the tongue out of the mouth of whoever wrote that article. And of course, as always, I cannot wait to see what happens next week. If you've liked this video, click like, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, ring the bell to be notified as to when they drop. If there's anything you want to talk about, comment down below and share these around to anyone who you think might appreciate or want to watch these reactions along with us. My Patreon link is down in the description. If you become a patron, you get access to my blog, you get access to these reactions I put on YouTube a month and a half in advance, and you also get access to full-length versions of everything I react to. So consider becoming a patron, it helps me and my channel out so much, and until next time, I have been BA, peace.